Hello everybody, my name is Leo and I'm here in presence of Mima. And for a few days already we've been working on what I called voice activation. In other words, how to use the sounds and the words to explore yourself and expand what you believe you are and go out of your comfort zone and also reprogram your mind. Mima, I'm really interested about how was this experience for you and what kind of challenges or resistance you've been facing and how do you feel now after those voice activation?
I have to say, I've done a lot of things that put me in uncomfortable positions in public speaking, but this has been probably the most challenging experience I've ever had. And a lot of this is because of the method that you use, Leo, and I've been so grateful for this activation that you've done. Really felt the difference. But the method that Leo uses is really fascinating, especially, for me, because I'm coming at this from a physiological standpoint, understanding how the body works, being in medicine, and I'm blown away at the resistance that I have in coming up with sounds that are complete gibberish. And you have this process, that you call voice activation. And what he does is he forces you, invites you and forces you to use different sounds to express yourself outside of language, outside of words. And this just blows my mind, because if you think about it, before we had language, right? Before we had language, humans used to communicate through expression, through sounds, through gestures, and that's how language formed. That's how it was created. And what a lot of people don't talk about is a lot of our ancient languages, like Latin or Sanskrit, they're coming from parts of the body, and they're often actually coming from the heart. And they're called heart languages, love languages, or heart languages. And we ignore this, in our current understanding of language and communication. We don't really think about the root of those sounds and where they're coming from. So as I started to learn more about music and sounds, I got introduced to this idea that the words that we're sounding out, that we're creating, actually have an intonation that's coming from a part of your body. And in this case, we're talking about the heart, such a sacred part that connects us with our soul, with our spirit. And the way that you sound things out is an expression of your true heart's emotions and feelings, So I have to say this has been extremely challenging for me because of everything that you teach, which is that we need to get out of our own way. We need to, learn how to free our mind from the process of expression. And it's so much easier said than done. We're just I'm so full of self-judgment and criticism. And that really, came out for me, is that, it's been a process of learning how to love myself and to release the internal dialogue, that is there, that prevents me from being my full self, from realizing my full capability in this world. So I've just been really amazed by your process, and I still feel like it's a journey, and I'm using a lot of the tools that you've taught, but I can't say it's been easy. So but I highly encourage anyone who wants to activate their voice to work with someone like you, because you're using this spiritual aspect, this very primitive, ancient process that's, come to you, and how you want to help people access themselves, right? And so it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm also really curious about your perspective on neuroplasticity and reprogramming the neural pathways thanks to this tool. Because intuitively, I know and I feel that when I'm speaking a specific language like English right now, I have specific neural pathways that are holding that in order for me to express myself. When I'm speaking in French, it's other pathway. When I'm speaking in Spanish, it's something different. And getting out of those languages that are known for the mind, understandable for the mind, and that are just grounded into into our brain, just as simple as this. When you tap with new sounds out of this, you just reprogram new pathways into yourself and open up new capacity to perceive the reality in a different way. So I know that you are a doctor, and I would love to know your perspective about that.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking. You know, one of the biggest problems right now with aging is the loss of neuroplasticity, right? It's like you think about your bones not working, or eventually your organs might start failing. One of the biggest organs that starts to fail early in life, actually, quite early, much earlier than you would think, that Alzheimer's or Parkinson's and these kinds of things show up like in your 70s or 80s. Even before that, your